Hi FS100 class, here is a brief summary of the financial part of Chapter 11. As I said in class, Chapter 11 has a lot of really good information about our personal health. And so I encourage you to read those pages and take that information to heart for you personally. But what we're going to focus on in our class is related to our learning outcome of financial self-management. So I'm going to skip down to those slides. And what we're focusing on is the idea of budgeting. There's a 4-step process to budgeting, and it's very similar to when we talked about self-management with time. Remember how we talked about tracking your time and then prioritizing what you do? Same thing here. Step 1, you're going to gather information about how you spend your money, and you're going to actually write it down. You're going to record your income and expenses. So this budget worksheet on the slide and in your book is just an example of some of the ways people get income. That's the money coming in to your household. Again, it could be paychecks, could be government assistance, could be your financial aid. And then your expenses are the money going out of your household. And remember, there are 2 types of expenses, fixed and variable. Fixed expenses are the ones you have every month, and they are basically the same, although they could change a little bit. Examples would be a car payment, rent or mortgage, electric bill, water bill, sewer bill, those types of bills that you have every month. Variable expenses are the ones that you may or may not have on a regular basis. Those would be things like groceries. We know we need to eat, but we have very different grocery bills, sometimes week by week or month by month. Also something like going out or entertainment or maybe even vacations. Those would be variable expenses because we usually don't have them every month or every week, or if we do, they change a lot. So again, recording your income and your expenses is step 2, and you're looking at your expenses as fixed or variable. Then step 3, you look at how your money is flowing in and out to make changes. You want to maximize the money coming in and minimize the money going out. So this is where you might make changes to things like your phone plan or your TV plan, or maybe you think about how you're spending money on gas if you have your own car. And then finally, step 4, you track your results again after you've made changes, and you may need to refine your budget further. So if you changed a plan, say your phone plan, is it actually saving you money or not? So those are the 4 steps to using a budget. We also talked about financial aid in this chapter. So in the U.S., the way to apply for federal and state aid is by filling out the FAFSA form. And you need to fill that out every spring. The government says that February 15th is the date by which you should fill it out, but you could also think about it in terms of when you're doing your taxes for the previous year. You should also have your FAFSA done by then. When you do the FAFSA, you are applying for grants, which are from the state and federal government, and they do not have to be repaid. Grants are based on financial need and the financial situation of you and your family. You're also applying for student loans by doing the FAFSA. And there are 2 types, subsidized and unsubsidized. Subsidized loans are where you don't pay interest. You do not pay interest while you're in school. Unsubsidized loans, you do pay the interest on the loan while you're in school. But both of those student loans are not paid back until you leave college. 6 months after you leave college, then you must start repayment on those loans. Scholarships are from different sources. Scholarships are not part of the FAFSA, and each college will have their own process for applying for scholarships. Finally, work-study programs are part of the FAFSA, where you could qualify for an on-campus job to help pay for your tuition. Now, unfortunately, those work-study jobs are not happening at HAC now due to the pandemic. But when the campuses reopen, if you're interested in that, you would talk to the financial aid office on your campus to ask about work-study. The last part of financial aid is making sure you can keep your financial aid. So at HAC, it's called Satisfactory Academic Progress, SAP or SAP, where you need to continue doing well in your classes to keep your financial aid. And again, that's called SAP, Satisfactory Academic Progress.